Warning, the following broadcast contains strong opinions, playful antics, and controversial topics causing off-the-rails fun. Chances for being offended are higher than average for sensitive people. Viewer discretion is not advised. Live a little and have some fun.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Coach's Box. We are here at Coach Jarvis's favorite place, St. Pius X. We have a great show, I think, for you guys, even though Jarvis isn't here, so we can make fun of him throughout the show, and we got some interesting topics to talk about. Lots of, there's some interesting stuff going on in the world of sports today. But before we get going, I'm going to turn it over here to Riley Blair. And Riley, we're gonna talk about it something real quick. So why don't you go ahead and do that for us?
Sure. Well, for tonight's show, we're gonna dedicate tonight's show in memory of an old man that graduated to heaven this week, and Frank Hawkey. Frank was a avid watcher of Off the Rails media, at times watching the Coach's Box, but more importantly, watching On the Move with the Caravan with Jim Powers. Jim Powers was a family member of him. His daughter is who Jim is currently dating, and he's had a lot of respect for Frank, and we wanted to honor him tonight. And so we are going to do tonight's show in honor of Frank Hawkey. Frank was a loving and caring father, friend, teacher, and coach who will always be remembered for the care and comfort he gave to everyone he encountered. His laid-back attitude, quick wit, and attention to others made everyone feel important and loved. It didn't matter if he just met you or if he had taught you over 50 years ago. He remembered each person and would share stories with a smile about each and every one of them. His life was dedicated to helping others in any way and every way he could, by sacrificing for his family and friends. Frank spent over 40 years teaching at DeSmet High School in St. Louis. His motto of forming men for others is as he always focused on helping other people. So tonight's show will be in memory of Frank Hawkey.
Thanks, Riley. And that's one of those things when we lose somebody who's in the community like that, a longtime coach at DeSmet. Going up there to the wake and seeing all those people and just kids coming in and coaches and just family members and life's short. I mean, hug your family and make sure you tell them you love them. Yeah. And you can tell that the lives that man impacted.
Yeah, you definitely could. And we were talking about his legacy at DeSmet last night, and he was a football coach there, a baseball coach, and then he won 4 state titles in golf as a coach there at DeSmet. And a lot of his former students were at the wake last night, and I know they were there as well today for the funeral. And he'll be definitely missed by his family. One of them that is close to us is Ann, and that's Jim's significant other. And she's meant a lot to our show. She's always an avid watcher every single week with Jim, and so we appreciate everything. And our condolences go to her and her entire family.
Yeah, absolutely. And more importantly, she lets us give Jim a hard time without thumping us, because
she probably encourages it a little bit.
I would have to say there's probably some encouragement there. So
yes.
Anyway, hopefully we do right by this show for Coach Hawkey. And Zach, why don't you get us going on this? It's time now to have some fun. You and your Pepsi Zero in the background now. I just realized that. I was like, what's this red thing? Oh, yeah, get you.
Yeah.
All right. I'm surprised you're not drinking the regular Pepsi.
Got to gear up for the school year that's coming up, right? You know?
I would give me the hard stuff.
Whoa.
I'm just saying, like, I don't want you don't want the cheap stuff. You're like, let it or unleaded. Leaded.
Well, we'll see. We'll see after all the, the first week. PD.
I wish I'd have had that stinking. All right, Zach,
all
let's
the
go.
icebreakers and all that.
I know. Nobody wants.
No, it can be done in an email.
Nobody wants to walk around and write some on each paper.
No.
Get
us what we need to do.
All right.
Let's go. So speaking of what we need to do,
go ahead. Yeah.
Talking about some of the topics. Before I came over here, we left the show last week, and I know Jarvis isn't here to defend himself.
He's on the lake.
Yeah, he's on a lake somewhere, so he's not here.
Wait,
he's on a boat.
The scary thing is he's right now in southern Illinois, kind of where I grew up at.
What the hell?
And you know how much trouble he was giving me last week, and now tonight he is actually eating at a famous pizza place in Marion, Illinois called Walt's Pizza. Hey. He just posted that on his Facebook page, and I had to give him trouble. I even sent my mom a message and told her to give him all kinds of trouble because he's down in southern Illinois, which he always gives me trouble about being from there. And
we
now
all
he goes
give
on
you trouble.
Well, now he goes on vacation down there. I mean,
I don't understand that.
Great place to visit. I guess not stay.
Just passing through. Just gotta go.
But speaking of, we got into this heated debate last week about star players and namely quarterbacks and how they just have to practice all the time. Well, hey, Blair, what's more important, practice or the games?
Well, depends.
Here we go.
Yeah, practice or the games.
God dang it, we ain't even made it 10 minutes into the freaking show. We already
you play
started.
to win the game, right? Oh, wait. Hey.
You do practice to win the game.
Hey, how about Deshaun Watson? What's he going to be tonight? They're playing in the Hall of Fame game. He's going to go 0 for 0. Hey, what about Aaron Rodgers? He's on a new team, New York Jets. He's going to go 0 for 0. So you mean to tell me you're talking about all these guys got to practice all the time. They've got a game tonight, and neither one of the starting quarterback franchise guys are going to play. If Jarvis were here, I'd say, well, Deshaun has over 200 million reasons why he needs to be playing tonight.
Well, he's got to pay. So wait, he's got to pay some of that to those lovely ladies that he allegedly,
right? Allegedly, Rodgers
groped.
Rodgers, he's old, but he's new on a team. You would think he would need to be playing,
is 39
so he could
old?
get. Well, it's all relative, Chris. But you would think brand new team, he would need to be out there playing. Game speed, game reps, or is it maybe what I said last week, which is they're professionals. There's the route tree's the route tree, no matter where you're playing, and you don't want to risk your guys getting hurt. So maybe Zach's right all the time.
Whoa!
Jarvis isn't here to defend himself. So
and then you woke up and realized that crap ain't the case.
Goodness!
Wow.
Hey, I also looked.
Do you pull that card with Mandy? Does that really work?
No. What do you think?
Okay, that's what I thought.
No. Hey, I looked it up. Just I was hoping Kevin's going to be here so he could back me up on this. This is just questionable injuries right now. Over 90 guys. Over 90. This is just questionable. So this is potentially day to day, week to week that are already injured, and it's Thursday.
It's football.
I didn't even count how many guys are out, like Jalen Ramsey, who has to have surgery. I didn't even count those dudes. And so, but yet, franchise QBs can't play on opening night? What's up with that? Oh, wait, because they don't need to, because it's not needed. Because the last time they argued with their CBA, they wanted to cut preseason games. They wanted to cut time on training camp because it's not that big of a deal, and you don't want to hurt your superstars.
Is that the case?
Yes.
Oh.
But anyway.
Did you you feel good now?
I do.
I'm just. There's no sense in arguing with you. I saw what happened last week. You think and you stated it right now. You're like, I just shows right now that Zach McVey is right. Like,
if only he would listen a little bit more, from November to March. No, I'm playing.
Okay. But why do I want to get in that argument? I already saw what happened. That was a train wreck. Absolute train wreck.
Well, it is off the rails.
I know.
So
I know. We haven't even got into the actual topic. Zach's just like, hey, since I opened the show, let me just go ahead and start and say I'm right. Jarvis is here to tell me I'm wrong. Right? That's what happened.
Well, hey, what did Jarvis always say every time I was not here? Hey,
Show's better.
Yeah, that's among other things, yeah.
I mean, I can remember.
Right.
So,
No, but anyway, I just, food for thought for all the guys that commented, and feel free to comment again. Speaking of,
Okay.
Hey, now obviously I'm late to the party here, but I checked. We've got over 1,700 followers now on Facebook.
Yes, we sure do.
I saw that today, and YouTube followers
Like
starting to creep
3,000.
over 3K.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
yeah. What the hell's the matter with you people? Like,
Are they bored?
hey, what is it? You want to see some crazy stuff right here?
So thank you to all the
absolutely.
everybody
Thank
that continues to follow, and
Yeah, and we're not charging anything for it. We're not going out and asking you for sponsorship so we can do one show. One show. Yeah,
No.
absolutely. We're not doing that. I don't know if you saw the commercial, but it's free.
It's
free
free
for you to watch. There's an option once you get over so many YouTube subscribers that you can actually do subscriptions. And I'm like, who the hell is going to pay anything to watch us? No.
And why would they?
No, this is cheap, free entertainment.
Literally.
That's what I'm saying.
Coach Rhodes said that to me last week.
Did he?
He's like, I'm going to go home and watch free entertainment by watching the Coach's Box. And I was like, well, you got a point there. It is free.
I mean, the only thing you're paying for is your phone service or your internet, and that's it.
Yeah. And
that's not free. That
is not free.
Oh my goodness!
but you already have it before you watched us.
That's
so I'm sure you
right.
didn't go buy that just to watch the Coach's Box.
That's like buying a 747 to get free peanuts. That's stupid. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right, so one of the things that I want to jump into that we had put out there on the topic sheet that actually, we're trying to somewhat every now and then follow, Zach, is...
Oh wait, I get blamed this week. Jarvis
This week.
never gets blamed.
because it's Jarvis. Because it's
Are
Jarvis.
you trying to say he's special?
Everybody who's watched this show and knows Jason knows that he is definitely special. He is very special.
Yes.
Near and dear.
Near
is
and
what you mean.
dear, special, bless his
All right,
heart.
go ahead.
So, right now, it kind of seems like the NCAA is actually all the schools are doing this. The camera's not even on you, so I don't even care right now. But it's
Who's
like
right again?
playing NCAA football 14 and just moving schools around and making super conferences.
Ugh.
We actually they just came out actually about 10 minutes ago saying that that Arizona is looking to move to the Big 12.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
And Washington and Oregon just got okayed to go and talk to the Big 10.
That was a big deal. USC is pitching a fit.
Well,
about
yeah.
that.
What? Okay, if I'm USC, why am I pitching a fit?
Well,
Why?
Money, because everything comes back to money.
Okay,
Yes.
well, if I'm gonna go get money, and you say, "Hey, I want some of that too," no, you can't do that.
But USC, and this is where they're frustrated. USC had the conversation with the Big Ten, and this is all allegedly, again.
I'm sure it was
but
alleged.
where they're saying, "Hey, we want to join the Big Ten. However, you have to make sure that Oregon do not join, because if they do, we are going to, as in USC, we are going to lose out on money." And so USC, they're already like, well, you're bringing in UCLA. That's money we're going to miss out on. And basically, when they do the math, and I'm not good at math, that part of their argument was the fact that Vanderbilt, if you bring in Oregon and Washington, Vanderbilt is going to be making over $20 million more than we would by joining the Big Ten.
Unbelievable.
So again,
I'm just saying, who at this point, it's a damn circus.
It is.
The college football and the conference realignment, just do away with conferences. Period.
Agreed.
Don't even have them. There's no sense. You set your own schedule.
what about a draft? Hold on. What if you do this? What if
No.
you say? What if
No.
you said? Hold on. I'm going to talk to Riley. I'm going to look at it. What if you said, "Hey, the top 4 teams within the last X amount of years, the Georgias, the Alabamas, whoever else, you went to
Clemson.
Ohio State, we'll throw that in Clemson. Hey, you guys, we're going to do a draft. And we're going to have like the top 100 teams, and we'll create 4
That's so
mega
dumb.
conferences." Huh?
That's so dumb.
It's just as dumb as not having geographical boundaries now.
They just don't even have conferences.
Just maybe divide it into 4 sections and just
That's
say
what
north,
he's
south,
saying.
east, west,
That's what
and
he's
then-
saying.
So I mean, I don't understand.
If you don't have conference,
They're not doing it.
you're not
then
having a conference. You're just
okay, so
geographically
you're
putting them
Alabama,
out there.
you're Georgia. You know who you're going to schedule? 12 cupcakes. You're not going to schedule anybody.
No, what they'll do is they'll do away with the NCAA, or they'll depart from it. They'll turn around and they'll have a committee that picks those schools, just like they'll have another NCAA, and they'll pick the schools that'll make the playoffs, and then they'll play, and it'll be the same damn thing again, only regurgitated without the NCAA.
New label.
Yeah.
You know what it sounds like?
What?
PD. I'm sorry.
Mrs.
Anyway.
DeCosti, are you watching the show?
Of course not.
Zach
No.
loves
Oh,
PD.
man.
Matter of fact, I think I'm going to make sure next week. Hey, I think
you are
Zach,
an admin.
Zach wants to lead this.
No, I do not.
Zach wants-
I have to do my fair share.
Who
of
wants
that.
to get up here first? Zach does. Yeah, you haven't led your fair share of PD.
I have.
Your ass. There's no freaking way. No, absolutely not. You are
boy.
so full of crap right now.
Oh boy.
Not even no. The thing about the college football conference realignment, again, I'm trying to finish the point, is there's no way that they can do. They're just going to start over again. It's all they're going to do, and it'll be back to the same thing. It's just minus the schools that don't count.
Well, who doesn't count?
Anybody who's not a Power 5.
Well, it sounds like some of the Power 5 teams
Well, I mean Vanderbilt, they'll be out. Mizzou could be,
on the
True.
on the fence. I don't know. I mean,
A UConn football team, yeah, you guys are out.
Yeah.
No,
Goodbye.
no. I just don't see how it's going to work. At this point, it's insane. It just doesn't make any sense. And you say, well, do geographic conferences. What was the SEC? What does that even mean? Southeastern Conference. Then they had the SWC, the Southwestern Conference. Okay, what was the Pac-10? Pacific.
right?
Yes.
Pac-12, Pacific, the Atlantic Coast. Those are all geographical names of the conferences. But then everybody's going to move around. And then what are we going to do? We're going to do it all over again. It makes no damn sense.
Okay, so you got this. You go to geographical 4 different, and you take the
Kinda
top
was.
4
No.
from each geographical area
No.
into a playoff.
Nobody's going to do that
Why?
because they're not going to play that many games.
How did they not play that many games?
They're just not. They're not gonna do
You're
it.
going
shorten
to
it
have
up.
12 games. Still going to have 12 games plus.
Okay, and then
whatever
what?
else
So
you-
what are they moving the college football playoffs to? 12? Is it 12 teams?
12.
Okay, so they're going to take. Is it 12 or is it 8? I can't remember.
12.
It's 12. Okay, so it's 12. So that means you're going to have a bye somewhere, and then you're going to have to. So basically, you can play 3 games in the playoffs, right?
Yes.
Okay. They're not cutting another game out of the schedule, are they? To do the 4. So you got 16. It'd be a 16-team playoff. Well, what's the point of being the top team if you can't get a bye to
You're
get
gonna
that
get a
bye
bye.
week? No, you don't. Not if they're 16.
You're going to get a bye.
No.
For all the number 1
12.
seeds.
The 12s will.
No,
Yes.
I'm saying
I know
you do it
16.
your idea.
Yes.
To where you say the 4 geographics and take the top 4. That's 4 and 4 is 16.
I said
no.
one play the two.
They're not doing
one
it.
play-
They're-
I know they're not doing it. We're
They
saying
want the
that's what
buy. They want the buy. They want that time.
They want more money. I guarantee you
telling
the
you.
colleges would want more money instead of a buy.
But they don't want them to play more games. Just saying.
They went along with you can't say that because they've already done a playoff. Now they're going to expand the playoff to 12 teams, so you can't sit here and argue they don't want to
I can
play.
argue with whatever the hell I want, Zach.
They're already expanding.
Facts don't
it.
care about your feelings
I
because
know.
they're
and I'm
already
giving
playing
you
more
I'm
games.
giving you the facts right now.
The fact is they're playing more games.
So cut it.
I haven't heard anybody say
10.
anything about cutting games. The only argument is how does the Pac-12 play 9 conference games, but the SEC plays 8 conference games? That's the only argument when they've talked about gameplay. Is that how is it fair for one conference to play 9, but the other conference plays 8?
They made the same thing about the conference championship game.
That too. How
And how-
some had championships,
some have it,
and
some
didn't.
don't.
Right.
It worked for years, and people didn't piss and moan about it. And then all of a sudden, they
Money.
came along with the BCS. The BCS. Hey, this all goes back to the BCS.
Sure
The
it does.
BCS effed everything up. Okay, it just did.
It did.
It
You
did.
think?
Yes.
It's money. Everything comes back to money.
So from the time that they had football when they were trying to outlaw the damn thing in the country back in the 20s, up
Teddy Roosevelt and all that.
until the BCS, it was the same system the whole time. And football was the straw that stirred the drink.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden BCS comes along. It's like, hey, everybody got changed now. Woo!
Well,
and that's what happened.
And what wound up changing was the fact that
Stupid.
computers got involved,
Yes.
and then you had
Analytics?
Yes.
Yeah,
Analytics.
yeah. That's on for another topic that we'll get to. That's a good segue.
What?
But computers got involved, and people still, even going back to the day that you're referencing, people were still in colleges were still aggravated that hold on, we're 12-0, you're 12-0. Why are you the national champion and we're not? Mm-hmm. Or we're 11-1, and we beat you, but how come you're the national champ? And so there was a lot of, and so they bring in the BCS so they can do the computer program
Again,
algorithm.
What happened? The BCS, instead of just saying we're going to have a playoff system like the 1AA does, no, we're going to do the BCS, and everybody will be happy. And everybody bitched and moaned about that.
Well, who else besides the colleges? Who else complained?
Who? What?
Well, you're talking the Orange Bowls, the Rose, the
Yes.
Bowls. The
Yes.
Bowls did because
Well,
that's again. Why is
Money.
it the fact that the playoffs you're going to have the Peach Bowl, the Orange Bowl, this bowl, the Rose Bowl? You get all these bowls
Maxi
because
Pad
it's
Bowl.
right because it's all about money.
Money.
Okay. These bowl games are stupid.
In general?
bowl games they're great for the kids to go and travel and play.
But now
they get their
the kids don't even want to play.
some of them
now they don't even want to play. If I'm a stud, I'm going to be in the draft. I'm not playing. I'm going to sit out. Wah. It's stupid. Just if you're going to get rid of this, if you're going to get rid of certain things, just get rid of the bowl games. The bowl games are dumb.
Well, and then the
It's
other thing
outdated.
the other thing is some of these teams wait 5 weeks in between their last game and that game. I mean, what well, you're going to practice again for 5 weeks without
Academics.
playing?
Well,
We got finals.
Like, that
apparently
takes,
they need it.
that takes 1 week, my friend.
Does it? I'm sorry. I wasn't a college athlete. Zach, you were a college athlete.
I'm talking about.
But you're-
I'm talking about what Jarvis is. Well, they got to
Oh.
practice. So
You gotta
even the pros
practice.
got to practice. So.
But for 5 weeks, you have off. I mean, why would they not want to play? I mean, at this
Because
point,
that goes
I gotta
back
set
to
up
the
for 5
tradition
weeks.
of that goes back to the tradition of having New Year's games. You've got your New Year's Six. You've got everything leading up to that.
I get it.
And then now you throw in. You said the toilet bowl or whatever else you said. The fact that you can be 6-6 and you can go to a bowl. I mean, it's all watered down, but it goes back to the almighty dollar.
The bowl system is an outdated thing. It's like we have these newfangled ideas and we have the old ideas, and we're trying to mesh them all together and just saying if we're gonna do it and change it, we're just gonna change the whole damn thing into this, and let's go. And stop looking in the past and like, well, that's not something we used to do.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Who writes the checks?
Tradition.
The people
they
who
say.
used to do it, right?
If you want to have Chick-fil-A or whoever sponsor, they sponsor this game and this slot, and they can bid on those games. So if you have let's just use the 16 or 12, it doesn't matter, but your first round games, which would be your quarterfinals, right? Right? Those games, each slot has a sponsorship, and they all bid on those games to see who's going to get it, and they get it for 2 or 3 years,
Yes.
and then they're all up, and then they do it again. So your semifinal game is brought to you by Tostitos, whatever, don't care. And then the next one is by Nissan, finding new roads, whatever. And then your national championship game is sponsored by I don't give a damn. And you just do that and you get rid of the bowl games. You get rid of all those. And guess what? There's money. And they're sitting there, they are going hand over fist to try to do that because they get first dibs on all the advertisement and everything else. That's a much better thing than having some stupid ass game that doesn't mean anything at the end of the year for some 6 6 and 7 team like Mizzou probably will be at the end of the year playing Appalachian State. And guess what? We'll probably lose because a couple of our guys will be like, hey, we're good. I'm going to the NFL draft. I ain't going to freaking play. And
that's true.
And Drinkwitz will probably be fired because we didn't win enough games. So now we got, the positions coach or something for the special teams coaching the damn team, and we're getting our butts kicked by Appalachian State. A waste of time, but hey, we played a bowl game, and who gives a damn?
And we got some money out of it.
Sorry.
Yeah, helps with recruiting.
Well, how many games you guys win? 6.
And we played in a bowl.
We played in the bowl and got beat by a team that's nobody knows where Appalachian State's even at.
But we got that $20,000 that's going towards your scholarship for next year. So there you go.
NIL money.
Paying for the science department.
Pay rogue tutors so we can self-report and then lose. Have to cough up our own wins.
So let me ask you this question: if you want to do away with the conferences, then how do you navigate the traditional rivalries? Again, the Egg Bowl, the Iron Bowl, all of the different, Michigan, Ohio State. How do you sit here and negotiate that if you're going to say we're going to do away with conferences?
Well, I think you have the opportunity to schedule who you want, and that comes at a first come first served basis, effective this date. Now, do you not think that those guys are going to talk prior to? Absolutely, they are.
How do you? If you're going to do that,
how do you police that?
Well, no, not even that. How do you go about determining who the best team is? Because right now, how many teams would you say? Again,
that's what they had.
NCAA tournament does that.
Yeah, they do.
Put a committee together.
Well, they won their conference. There's 25 teams that come out of the SEC or the ACC, and it's like, well, they finished 12th in the ACC.
Their
ACC
RPI?
Their RPI, whatever. And Joe Lenardi and that piece of crap. Almost said another word. I hate that guy.
Bracketology.
Yeah, whatever. He has one damn job a year. Gets paid way more money than I do for a month and a half worth of nothing.
Somebody sounds jealous.
I like
Hold
it.
on, what does he always say when you were making a decision?
I decided to be a teacher instead of being Joe Lenardi.
Hey, you decided
Joe Lenardi.
But seriously, how do you go about? Because
it's the same. But Riley's right. And don't say that a lot. Riley's right.
Write this down.
You have to schedule games, and you have to try to get your RPI up. Your strength of schedule that goes into it. And you know what? Now you can't play the Citadel when you're a Power 5 team because it's going to kill your strength of schedule, RPI, or whatever the hell you want to call it. You can't do it.
But at the end of the day, let's say you have a non-Power 5 team.
Which one? How bad?
Just saying, and they go 12-0. And they're not in the top 12 because maybe their RPI is not high. Well, then theirs becomes the other issue, the next issue that we have to deal with.
Then you didn't make it.
But, okay, what if you have these, quote, Power 5 teams that are bad? Let's take a Georgia Tech on the football field and say, hey, you're over-under this year set at like 2.5. But Georgia, you're gonna do this in-state rivalry game that you've had this tradition for decades.
No.
How do you justify that?
You get one. Just give them one. That you get one. Mm-hmm. That's it. You give them like this one mulligan kind of game, and you almost got to claim it because if Georgia's playing Georgia Tech, you know how this is going to play out,
right?
Okay, until the Earth moves.
Yeah.
In another way, maybe
the
like
poles,
some continent.
The poles shift.
Yeah, maybe some tectonic plates move a little bit or something. That Georgia Tech's actually good. They're not going to be. They're going to get their butts kicked. But then at the same time, hey, then that means that you want to play your traditional game. If you don't have some kind of thing like that, then you got to turn around. You got to actually play some teams that are worth a damn.
Yes.
You can't go play the cupcakes anymore. Mm-hmm. You can't go have the exhibition game to get warmed up. And we had to go. You can't go play the cons.
Now, here's my question though: How are you going to sit here and determine who's good? If you throw out
committee,
if you throw out conferences and you just say we're going to take all 120 or 7 or however many teams there are in D1 and say Are we going to rank them? Are we going to, like, what's your line in the sand? Because right now you at least have geography, you have rivalries, and you have conferences.
There's no geography
and
of conferences.
Okay, so I'm going to say
I'm saying those are your parameters. Those are your definitions, your line in the sand. If you do away with all of that, because, again, how can you argue? How do you get to argue? Let's say Kansas finishes at 10-2, but then throw out another team, a Vanderbilt goes 5-7. How do you sit here and determine who's better and looking at their schedule? But
go ahead, Riley. You were going to make a point. I don't want to cut you off because you're actually talking now.
Jason's not here. That's probably why. It's probably a Jarvis. That's the problem. That's the issue.
He did say he's listening. He's watching the show now. He said he heard that I agreed with you.
Well, he did because he was on the coach's box.
I know.
And
He
said,
commented.
"Wow, Chris Miller," and then whoops, I got better. Better go onto my page and say that.
Oops, I didn't sign out. Hey, Grandpa. Good job. Go ahead. Finish your point.
But maybe you could go into putting that where the ranking system is maybe the top 2 in each quadrant. I guess you could say north, south, east, or west.
But then now you're getting into geography, and he just took that away.
Well, he did, but I didn't.
Right.
I'm still to that point.
Took it away.
So I think you got you say the top 2 in each one are basically ranked, but then the rest of them you still have an opportunity. They can come from anywhere, anything, and whatever. I think you got an opportunity for some teams to maybe sneak up on some and get into that top 16 because of maybe who they played, big time wins, and there's a committee that decides that. And I feel like that's the way it is.
The conferences don't mean anything anyway right now. What do they mean? Okay, because what
sure they do.
Do they?
SEC means everything.
Ask the Pac-12 if they matter. They haven't been in the playoff. They haven't had a team. Why? Because the other conferences are better.
Okay, so which is exactly why
Oregon,
if everybody runs to
Washington,
the Big
and
Ten and everybody runs the SEC, what do conferences even mean? Because right now, that's the only 2 conferences that matter. That's the only 2. The Big 12 doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's like, And nobody watches in the rest of the country because everything's on West Coast time. Mm-hmm. Nobody cares about the Pac-12. If you're going to turn on, it's because you can't go to sleep, and you got freaking Hawaii or some crap playing, Oregon State. That's the only reason you'd even turn on and watch anything out west from here. Unless you live out there, you don't care. Those schools don't matter, okay? Because their conference doesn't matter. The only conference that matters right now is the SEC and the Big Ten.
ACC would disagree with you.
Well,
on that.
I'm talking about football.
ACC would disagree with you.
So 2 schools in the ACC matter.
2 schools in the Big Ten. Name another 2 schools besides Michigan and Ohio State worth a darn in the Big Ten. That's exactly
Michigan
why
State,
USC. No. That's why USC. That's why UCLA. That's why Oregon. That's why Oregon and Washington want to go to Big Ten. They would have to get all of those schools in just to compete with the SEC.
Right.
So my point is those conferences just don't matter, because if they mattered, then it is you finish the top of this conference, you finish top of this conference, and you finish top of this conference, and then we're taking those like in the selection for the NCAA basketball tournaments. They don't matter in football, so who cares? So just do away with them. Just do away with them. Then you play whoever you want, and then now it's all strength of schedule. And then you can throw your math in there and say, well, here's our strength of schedule, here's our RPI, here's all this other crap, and then you can have your committee to decide, your selection committee, and you play a 16-team tournament. And you know what? Give them a damn NIT then for all the losers who didn't make it.
Part of the RPI is the fact that
there's your bowl games.
There's your little bowl games that don't matter.
Part of the RPI though is also the fact that you're playing different conference schools. So again, we talked about what would you rather do or what's better. I mean, you look at SEC conference school that goes 500 versus the WAC school that goes 18-2, and you're going to look and compare, and you're going to say, well, that 11-11 team is better because they play better teams in said conference. And if you do away with the conference, there goes a measuring tool for you.
But
your math.
You can substitute that for something else.
For what?
That's what I'm saying. What
You
do you
can.
do?
What do you do?
I don't know. I'm not in front of a freaking spreadsheet. Okay? I don't know what to tell you. I'm just telling you there's other factors that you can put into this to make it to where you can decide who the best team is. You can do an eye test. That's what the committee's there for. It's not just otherwise it's the BCS. If you don't have people that actually look and talk, then it's the BCS, and the BCS tells you who's in, and then you run things like the damn Cardinals do and just say, well, the computer said we're supposed to do this, so we're going to do that. Now Vanderbilt is in the freaking, playoffs, and instead of somebody who's actually probably good and they've won more games, but they play over in the West Coast, nobody gives a damn about it because we don't have the eye test. There you go. So that's what I'm saying. Just do away with the conferences and let them all play. They're going to anyway, guys. I'm just telling you. The NCAA is going to say we're not regulating football. It's coming. NIL has already opened the door.
I agree with
that.
that.
The transfer portal is out of control.
That's another.
And
we'll get there later on.
And then at the same time, it's like, okay, conferences, this is just, it's a waste because they're all jumping ship from every one to another one.
Yep. And the reason why,
Goodbye.
and the reason why is because you have to get into a group that supports you. USC has to get into another group that, again, they can play on the East Coast or they can play in the Central Time Zone, and then they can pass that eyeball test, but they can also play better competition. And
That's why I have people from the committees from different places, not just all of them from Ohio.
Yep. True.
Just saying.
True.
All right, with that, it's time to take a break. So we will be right back with more Coach's Box, maybe.
Tailgater tailgating to get to my tailgate. Now, it might not get me there any faster, but hey, it gets me ready for football. Let's tailgate.
I can't go anywhere.
But you're so busy watching me tailgate that you don't see the one in front of you. And your cut rate car insurance, it might not pay for this. So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Imagine an HVAC as unnoticeable as the air itself. Sounds pretty good, huh? The new Daikin Fit. Air intelligence.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
Hey guys, it's Jeff from Case and Bucks, personally inviting you and your family to come check us out. We've taken over ownership back in September. We've made some great positive changes, got the same legacy wings, got some amazing pizzas, some awesome burgers, hamburgers provided by Kenrick's. We'd love to have you down. Come check us out. The beer's cold, the air conditioning's working, and we're looking forward to seeing y'all. Take care.
For 24 years, really enjoyed being a basketball coach. When I retired from coaching, I decided that I wanted to get back into the media world. I look at it from more of a coach's point of view. I love to showcase guests. I love to tell their stories, not just locally, regionally, but nationally as well. Joe Namath, Kurt Warner, Patrick Ewing, Katie Smith. Not just talk about their accolades, but what they have given back to the game, what they've given back as leaders in their community. And I want people to be able to listen to my show and to be able to take that into their life. They're going to be able to live their life like a champion. That's a show right there that I feel like is worth listening to.
rush, and he drills it. Money ball for Logan Cann.
All right, well, welcome back to the Coach's Box, segment number 2. What?
You don't think you're ready for that?
No, I was waiting for your direction over there, Captain.
All right, whatever.
Hey, second segment here on the Coach's Box. You know, we were talking about the trade deadline for Major League Baseball.
Have we talked about that at all?
Well,
might have done a little bit.
a little bit, time or two here and there, but it's officially over.
Thank God.
Thank you.
Thoughts on it? I don't.
From a Cardinal standpoint, or just in general?
Cardinal standpoint.
Go ahead, Riley.
I want to go as in general. I mean, there wasn't a ton of trades made this time around. When you go back and look at it, I mean, there really wasn't any high-name pitchers besides one, maybe two. Okay, so you didn't have a lot of that going around. Then, you know, maybe there wasn't a big-name hitters that kind of moved around or went to teams. I mean, you really didn't see as much movement at the trade deadline as in normal years. And I was kind of curious of why do you think that is?
Is it because GMs on teams that are successful have already done a good enough job, and so outside of maybe injuries, you know, hey, we got to pick this player up because we have a starter that's out due to injury, or we need to just give a little bit more depth here and there. We've already done our job as general manager, so we don't necessarily need to, you know, scrounge around and do a lot of sign and trades or cut any type of deals because, hey, we did what we were supposed to before the season started. Is that?
I think you're kind of right, and to the same extent is also you've got some teams that are kind of on a roll right now and don't want to mix it up, don't want to change things. I mean, you got some teams that are really playing really good baseball right now, and those are the teams that I would have thought maybe would have made a big move to get a big bat to try to entice them for the postseason, or maybe a starting pitcher, you know, just to add some more depth. But you didn't see that. I mean, and so I'm kind of curious to see why. I was trying to watch a little bit of ESPN on that, and they just really didn't. I think one guy even said this is the least amount of trades at the trade deadline in over 10 years. So with that being said, you know, we'll move into what the Cardinals did. I mean,
let me ask you this. Is it because teams have flipped and you have traditional cellar dwellers that have always been, you know, giving away talent? Now they're actually winning, and so they don't need to pick up talent, and roles have kind of flip-flopped. I don't know.
I think that's a good point. I think you look at that, though. It is a good point, because how many of those teams, you know, like the Dodgers, for instance, you know, you're looking at them, they usually make 5 or 6 big-time trades at the trade deadline. To try to go out, and, you know, you just didn't see that. Cardinals, you know, try to go about 3 or 4 big, you know, now this year they were sellers, so it's just a big change, you know, in the big scheme of things in MLB. Chris?
Your movie star take is really, really quality over there, buddy.
Oh, appreciate it, man.
Just so you know.
Thanks.
Okay, first off, the Rangers won the trade deadline.
Oh,
okay. Sure they won. They got Montgomery, and then they got Scherzer. Now, Scherzer gave up 3 runs today, but then he settled in, struck out 9, and got the win. Max Scherzer's a guy who can put them over the top. The Astros got back Verlander, and both those guys going from the Mets to the same division to play for teams that are 1 and 2 in the division. Those 2 teams are the ones that are on pace. I heard someone say this, and I can't remember if it was on the radio or if it was something I read, but the Houston Astros' expectation of winning is much different than the Cardinals because they're trying to win championships, and the Cardinals are just trying to make the playoffs maybe. And you can tell by the moves that you make, by the people that you go out and try to get at the deadline. I didn't even think that Scherzer and Verlander were available to go out and trade for, because everybody had talked leading up to saying, well, there's no real aces. Both those guys are ace pitchers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now are they over the hill? Sure, but in this day and age, they're ace pitchers. I would take Justin Verlander over any single person that we have pitching at any part of the time for the last up until Chris Carpenter pitched. Okay, so he's an ace. So is Max Scherzer. I wish Max Scherzer would be able to play for St. Louis, but whatever. The fact is to address what you said about the not as many trades. When you expand the playoffs, more teams have a chance to make in the playoffs. So now either more teams are staying put that normally would offload talent.
That's true.
Or they're acquiring here and there, and there's not as many moves. It's small, very minuscule moves that are being made. So
trying to shore up a bullpen spot,
yeah,
trying to shore up some depth.
But they did they do the work. They're in a position to win, and we're like, well, they're like, well, we're just going to hold tight with what we have.
Well, I mean, you even look at the standings and you look at the records. I mean, you look at on the AL East side, everybody in that division has a winning record. The Yankees, who are 10.5 games back, 10.5 games out, has a winning record. But then you look at the AL Central and NL Central, and there's like two teams with winning records between a third of the MLB. So
the Twins are first in the division with a 54 and 51 record.
Yeah.
By the way, the Yankees are the biggest loser of the trade deadline because they didn't go and get anybody.
Nope.
They didn't offload anybody. And they're 10 games back of the Baltimore Orioles.
Hey, at some point, Baltimore had to win. They kept getting number one draft pick year after year after year.
So are you saying that you got to do you have to do that? Do you have to suck for a little bit to get some of those draft picks?
I mean, you go back, look at Chicago, look at the Cubs. They did that for a while.
The Rays
multiple times. Look at the Marlins. They did that multiple times.
Oh yeah, hey, they made moves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Skip's like, hey, we're trying to win. Okay, so
yeah,
Jeter's not here, so go ahead and go get me some guys. All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Do you think that the Cardinals, we were all thinking that we would get rid of at least one, maybe two outfielders? I mean, you still got 5 or 6 still lined up.
Listen,
what in the world?
You can wish in one hand and you know what in the other. And the fact of the matter is, name a team that says, oh, yes, I'm going to take Tyler O'Neill. I'm going to take Carlson. I'm going to take...
They take all kinds of guys that are garbage.
Yeah.
They fit a spot. Oh, he looks like he
What
can
does
hit.
he fit? What does he fit?
In the weight room?
Okay, there you go. A guy that gets off in the training room, gets off the bus first. You know what I mean? You have to. There has to be value.
You asked. I told you.
I know there has to be some type of value. Not great value.
Once again,
a little bit of value. There's nobody on our team in terms of outfielders that you could sit here and feel comfortable with. That, hey, we can get rid of it. I mean, look at Bader last year. Goes to the Yankees. Why? He has elite defense, and he's going to get on base a time or two. He's going to be able to steal. O'Neill, maybe he could have fit that role, but you can't be hurt every year except for one. I mean, that's
that and how much of these guys have played a ton this year? Have they been able to get in any kind of rhythm? Have they been able to get on any role where they can show people, hey, I can hit consistently? Well, I can't because I'm in the lineup 1 out of every 5 days, and then I'm doing this opportunity. So I firmly believe that had a lot to do with why people didn't want those guys.
I think it goes down to the fact that the Cardinals have overvalued their prospects and their talent.
Yep.
When we bring in, did you notice how the numbers changed when we traded for those? Those guys weren't even high level prospects that we got. Now I get it. You're not going to get guys that are just studs every single time that you trade pieces here and there, unless you just absolutely fleece somebody, okay? And they're just that stupid. They went from being like the 14th ranked in their organization to being the 8th or 9th in ours.
4th, I think.
Well, if you jump that many spots, here's what the problem is. You're not that good at what you do. So it goes now. I changed everything I said about Randy Flores. He sucked. Now he's better. Now he's back to sucking. And it all did was I just had to watch what we did and where other teams evaluate our prospects and how they change as soon as they hit our organization. That tells you. Now the other thing is how stupid are the Blue Jays? Well, the Blue Jays are like, oh, you got great pitching. We'll take those guys. How's that working out? And it says Cabrera, Hicks sucked for them. Paulie D's got a job.
Why do we? Here's what I want to know. Why do we always trade with two teams?
That's it.
Year after. I get it that maybe you've got some buddies that are under the GM side that you have a better relationship with, but like I see other teams in the same division willing to trade with each other. Why is it East Coast, West Coast, Central, wherever? Why are we only trading with a handful of
Nobody
teams?
from the NL West is going to trade with the Cardinals anymore.
No.
After the Goldschmidt and Arenado trades?
Yeah.
No. So you're gone there. It's just not happening. Now, the Cleveland would probably be like, hey, do you guys want to give away any talent? We've taken a few of them.
Yeah.
They have.
Now,
Florida, the Marlins, same thing.
So 365 days ago, Carlson was a sought-after guy like at the trade deadline. Like everybody wanted him, and he's safe. We're going to keep him. He's a good prospect, and
you have to pry away from my cold dead hands. I keep going back to that.
And then we go and we let a guy go that we probably would have had if he would have let Carlson go in the deal. And now all of a sudden we don't do that. So now we're I just don't understand how that changed in 365 days, where everybody was wanting him last year. But once again,
when you're hitting 220, nobody really wants you.
Well,
and you're not healthy, nobody really wants you.
Well, and you don't play a lot. That's true.
And
you can't play because you're hurt.
Yeah.
Well,
what? Hey, with Carlson,
maybe
the fact that Tommy Edman had to be your center fielder for X amount of games tells you there's an issue.
Hey! Speaking of that, I was listening to 101. Okay, and I was listening to replays. I actually came in, and I guess it was was it BK and Ferrario's the noon time?
Yep.
Gersh was on the show.
Yes,
he spoke.
Yes.
The Pinocchio puppet.
That was Mo in the corner.
I don't know. I can't see. I wasn't watching the YouTube video, but he was on the show having a conversation. So he actually is alive. We do know that he is a living, breathing, actual person. He's not a hologram. He's not Jor-El like in the Superman movies. He is an actual living person. And he was talking about those things and saying, like, with Carlson and, now that we got to get him some at-bats and da-da-da. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, like, what? Kind of the same thing what you're thinking. You just said last year that this guy he's our guy and we're going to... Really? You talk about Edman. And they asked if he was going to play any more center field. Like, well, there's a chance that he might play in this. Why? Why is he going to play in center field? He's a Gold Glove shortstop.
By default, because again, Newt was hurt, O'Neill was hurt, Carlson was hurt. You didn't bring up Walker for how many weeks?
Walker's not even an outfielder either.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just saying, like, and again, to talk about the mismanagement of the roster, it might as well have been. It's like playing MLB The Show, and it's Stevie Wonder doing it because he could put together a roster so much better than Mozeliak, than Gersh, than Marmol. I swear to God, it's the same thing. It's like, why is he playing there? I don't know. I can't see. I'm just gonna put guys there. I push the buttons. I wrote him in. Done deal. That's how this roster is constructed. There's no rhyme, sense, or reason. Every pundit talks about how they don't even understand why guys are hitting these places. Why are they playing in these places?
Look at who you have in the minors that you could be bringing up too. I mean, that's the thing.
We don't want to start their clock.
Well, no, you already have like Baker. Baker's a big dude. He's like, what, 6'6", 280. There's your DH. I mean...
No. My DH is Nolan Gorman. It is not the guy I paid $85 million to replace Yachty.
Well, that's because he should be catching.
He should be catching. And it's funny, though, again, Kisner's numbers over a course of a season are probably just as good as Wilson Contreras.
But here, let me go back to last year.
Oh,
when Yachty was hurt, and for that long period of time,
sure,
he did not produce, and they were giving him a chance to produce and say, hey, he's our guy, and he did not do that.
Okay, so now he's doing it now. So what do you do?
I mean, you gave him that opportunity, and he didn't do the job. So they went out and got somebody, and then they played him like a puppet at the beginning of the year. It's like terrible. I mean, what kind of guy would want to do what he's done?
They took a wiffle ball bat, hit him right in the nads, and said, "Hey, like it."
Yeah, like what in the world?
Take this. But again,
that's another guy. Didn't Contreras play in the outfield for a while? Yeah. Holy moly!
What,
I mean,
hey, why wouldn't you want to come here and play in St. Louis?
If I'm an outfielder, I'm like, get me over there. I know I'm going to play.
Are you though? you
if you're really good,
catching.
Spin the wheel. Where are you going to play today? Yes, I'm on the bench.
Hey, that whole lineup game is just insane.
So what's wrong with Arenado tonight? Not in the lineup. What in the world? Like, I mean, does he need that many days off in a 2-week period? Like 4 days off in a 2-week period.
Maybe he caught the flu.
Come on.
Brown bottle flu.
Well, the Cardinals playing for the Cardinals would be wanting me to drive me to drinking.
Maybe you shouldn't have. Maybe he's upset because he didn't take that option. Test free agency.
Okay, so going back to that, if you're Arenado, if you're Goldie, but more so if you're Arenado, are you looking at the moves? Which again, you've got the trade deadline, and they talked about the fact that I think they're going to do more with the roster, at least what they say in the winter meetings.
Bullshit.
Okay. So if you're Arenado, you just look around and you're like, at least in Colorado, I had the Rocky Mountains. A little less rocky. I figured the Rockies.
That John Denver guy is full of. Great movie.
I mean, I don't.
That's something.
I mean, okay, so.
God, of course, got these extra gloves for the Rockies.
Oh my goodness!
You had those the whole time.
That's what Arenado's thinking like right now. We got Mason Window. You had him the whole time. Got these guys down there the whole time.
Don't want to start the clock.
Yeah, no, why?
Gersh said it too.
We might get a draft pick next year.
No, he said that they. How do you say it? You want to make sure that like baseball is a sport of a long period of time. That you want to make sure that you don't bring him up before he's ready. That's what he said. I swear
he's hitting over 400 this month.
So he's
he
ready.
Wants to meet the challenge.
He's ready
over the long haul.
It's a long haul. Okay, he's still playing in AAA every day, so it's no different than playing here.
Riley,
you're still playing every day.
Matthew Lipitor disagrees.
Well,
okay, because he was dealing in AAA, and I don't know if you noticed or not, but he gave up at least 5 runs tonight. I'm pretty sure we're going to lose to the Twins. Well, they're in first place.
Hey, again, another organization that struggled and got a lot of draft picks. I mean,
hey, you got to trade those guys away, man, and get something for them, and then turn around and do something. But the number one problem with the Cardinals is the free agents do not want to come here. Okay, they just don't want to come here. Why would you watch?
Because you're not getting money.
No.
It goes back to money.
You can still get some money.
If you throw enough cash, you will get somebody. Look again. I go back to look at who you threw cash at. Dexter Fowler after the Cubs win the World Series because you need some leadoff guy. You're going to throw him that contract. Mike Leake, of all people, you're going to throw that contract out instead of saying
Mike Leake was a stud.
Okay, how'd that work out? Not great.
Not great.
He was a stud.
Instead of
else.
saying we got these guys that can come in here, Stanton, even though you could argue he hasn't been a generational talent for the Yankees.
Your boy Pujols turned down more money for the Cardinals to go to the Angels for less money.
Hey,
let's go back to that.
I think there's 2 reasons for that.
Why is that?
Well, I think one was the players' union saying, "Hey, you're the dude. You have to get the most money because that's going to trickle down to all the other players." And again, you have to feel valued at work. He didn't feel valued.
So you're saying there's something wrong with the organization? Wait, are you saying
Maybe
there's
not
a problem with you feeling valued? What do you think Wilson Contreras is feeling right now?
I'd be livid.
No
if I was
mas?
him.
No bueno? I don't know.
No comment. Toe the company line, because otherwise you might be down managing the AAA team.
Yeah.
Hey, he can say what he wants. Exactly?
He's still getting paid.
$80 million or $90 million.
But
reasons.
you only have a window of playing of a playing career. Yeah, that's great. I'm going to get paid. So I want to play, though. I mean, you still want to play. You're still getting paid, and that's fine. I could live my entire career like Carl Pavano on the injured list and make all kinds of money, but I only get so much time to be able to play. So I want to play. And when you pull some crap like that and make me feel, again, do you want to go to work when you're undervalued and you don't feel appreciated? Do you think Wilson Contreras wanted to play in the outfield and didn't know if he was playing, behind the plate, and then he is, and he's not, then he is, and he's not? Okay, so what do you want to do? You want to come there? Now, do you think Wilson Contreras has any friends around baseball? He has a couple brothers who are playing right now, and they might have some friends. So they're just all talking in Spanish, because I don't know how to speak Spanish. And guess what? They're all communicating with each other and saying, like, hey, don't come here.
Yeah.
Okay. Why? Because that bow-tied idiot and his little puppets are treating me like crap.
Or the wallet will not open. That's the problem. The wallet won't open, and then
for all the wrong reasons.
When it does open, we let Mo decide who we're going to spend that money on. That's the problem, right there.
It obviously we'll never know, but I would like for them, to open up the veil and explain some of the moves. Like, what on earth were you thinking about? You signed this guy that's supposed to replace Yachty. We know he's not a defensive guy. He's supposed to be this offensive guy, and you put him in the outfield. Why? Why? Why do you? Again,
he didn't know the pitchers well enough. That was their saying. He didn't know the pitchers well enough, and that was
Jack Flaherty threw him under the bus, and then we traded Jack Flaherty. I just wanted to throw that out there, okay?
Yeah.
They can paint that turd however they want. Jack Flaherty and him did not get along. They did not jive.
Nope.
Okay? There's a language barrier issue. There's some kind of issue. Don't know. They did not jive. And it had to come to Adam Wainwright having to sit down with both of them and then being like, oh, yeah, we're all cool. Well, Adam Wainwright says we are, so we're cool. No.
Yeah.
No. Just saying, it's ignorant.
And I do also think that, Michaelis the other night doing what he did, I think was trying to set a message to some of those guys that
Wait, what did he do?
When he, threw at Hap after the incident with getting, Contreras hit in the back of the head. I do think that was setting a message inside the clubhouse that, hey, he needs to be our guy. He's our catcher. Why are we continuing to do that? I've got his back. We've got his back.
And then Kisner goes 4 for 4 in the game and 2 home runs or something.
But that's the problem. That is the problem. What? Because then he does that, and then they will all of a sudden, maybe we should have played him.
But, okay.
What happened to you?
I don't know.
Your mic is gone.
What'd you do, Zach?
I didn't do anything. There we go.
Oh.
You
got a
pressed
short
the button
in
over
it.
there.
Got a short
no,
in
but
it.
I go back to this. Think about everybody that we brought in. Go back to McGuire. The first half, when he came in at the trade deadline, did not perform well. Look at Arenado. Look at Goldie. When their first year did not perform well. There is an adjustment period for big-name guys coming in. They talk about it being a pitcher-friendly ballpark, so that has something to do with it. Again, all the logistics. Verlander talked about it today. All the logistics of moving from one city to another, the family, the this, the that, and the other. So I'm going to give a little grace, give a little leeway here for Contreras in year one. And I think what they said was he was hitting over 400 this month of July, and he's kind of been on a tear lately here. We'll see if it continues for the rest of the season and hopefully going into next year. But I'm going to give a guy at least a little bit of grace early on, just due to the non-baseball factors that come in to changing, professional or not. So
I totally agree, and I think it's becoming more of a problem. We see it more here because we are here and we're seeing it, But as far as other organizations, I guarantee you they're seeing the same thing. It's just we're not hearing about it because we're not in that city or we're not in that area.
And we're losing. Winning cures a lot of ailments.
That's what I hear.
Absolutely, it does.
That's what I hear.
Well, let's go to break here, and maybe we'll come back here and talk a little bit of some fun stuff. Depends on if Zach turns his mic on or not. We'll see.
There you go. Now there it goes.
All right, well, you're watching the Coach's Box. We'll be right back after these messages.
I'm a tailgater tailgating to get to my tailgate. Now, it might not get me there any faster, but hey, it gets me ready for football. Let's tailgate.
I can't go anywhere.
But you're so busy watching me tailgate that you don't see the one in front of you. And your cut rate car insurance, it might not pay for this. So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Imagine an HVAC as unnoticeable as the air itself. Sounds pretty good, huh? The new Daikin Fit. Air intelligence.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
Hey guys, it's Jeff from Case and Bucks, personally inviting you and your family to come check us out. We've taken over ownership back in September. We've made some great positive changes, got the same legacy wings, got some amazing pizzas, some awesome burgers, hamburgers provided by Kenrick's. We'd love to have you down. Come check us out. The beer's cold, the air conditioning's working, and we're looking forward to seeing y'all. Take care.
For 24 years, really enjoyed being a basketball coach. When I retired from coaching, I decided that I wanted to get back into the media world. I look at it from more of a coach's point of view. I love to showcase guests. I love to tell their stories, not just locally and regionally, but nationally as well. Joe Namath, Kurt Warner, Patrick Ewing, Katie Smith. Not just talk about their accolades, but what they have given back to the game, what they've given back as leaders in their community. And I want people to be able to listen to my show and to be able to take that into their life. They're going to be able to live their life like a champion. That's a show right there that I feel like is worth listening to.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Coach's Box for our third segment. If you're still with us, I'm sorry. But we're still here. We're still talking. We're still having a show, and the FCC hasn't shut us down yet. Jarvis isn't here because he's on vacation in Riley's home state.
Southern Illinois.
Yeah, Southern Illinois. Sorry, I didn't It's like West Virginia, Southern Illinois, South Dakota. It's all the same, right?
No.
It's all the same.
No.
Okay, well then Illinois is lumped all
State.
together. Just throw it out there.
It is right now, but it's
And,
a whole different animal.
South I-70.
What does that even mean? Means nothing.
So you tell me the Boo Hill's different in St. Louis?
Just
It's part of Missouri.
But is it a little different?
About what?
I mean, is it a little different place?
I'm sorry, we don't have
Yes,
like communism like flowing out our ear holes in our state.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
Oh, my
It's good.
gosh.
Just throw it out there. Socialist Republic of Illinois. So
Oh, brother.
I know Zach's probably going to want to talk about some other stuff here. I was just kind of curious. I got to bring it up.
Okay.
I wish I had put the graphic up. So this
The graphic. I don't even know where he's going with this.
what? So there's another YouTube channel. It does they do several podcasts. It's called The Real Fresh Channel. It's actually really good. They have a lot of really great content on there. They actually comment on our show, every week and different stuff like that. But they put out a Twitter poll the other day that I had to share with everybody because I thought it was just really funny. Because apparently they were having a debate on their podcast about, and they wanted everyone to help settle this.
Oh my God.
They had a heated debate on their show. Which way do you wipe?
And the show has officially reached a new level.
Trust me, there's a whole hell of a lot of
Oh,
other
my
stuff
gosh.
that we've ever. Wait a minute. So you think about you're saying that, and that was a heated debate on their show,
Right.
So they had different options. One of them was sitting reach under to wipe, stand up and wipe, lean forward and wipe, or the Captain Morgan.
Oh, Lord.
So my question is,
Oh, my.
Why did you bring it on the show?
No.
Oh, I wish I was Kevin right now in 6. So
So what? Are you guys too shy?
oh my God.
Is that what it is? You guys are too shy.
Low hanging fruit.
What?
That's what it is right now.
I think that's an interesting topic.
Well, it definitely is an interesting topic.
That's right.
For what's that podcast called?
The Real Fresh Channel.
The Real Fresh Channel needs to talk all about it they want.
Oh my gosh!
Charmin
You guys have no
channel?
comment.
Charmin Fresh.
You guys have no comment.
Oh my God.
You have no comment. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You guys are
Whatever
you guys are
Stand
lame
up.
as
I'm
hell.
gonna say, stand up. Here we go. Stand up. Here
Can
we go.
hover.
That's not one of them, Zach.
That's oh my God.
There's no fifth option here.
No, I'm saying was that what he's doing? Is he hovering?
No, you stand up. Stand up. Captain Morgan, baby.
Captain Morgan.
That's the only way to go. I was definitely in the minority, though.
On what, the toilet roll hanger?
What was the results of theirs?
Well, I didn't get the final results of the poll. I'm from when they had it before. Sitting and reaching under was 36%. And that was the one.
Sitting and reaching under. I love it.
There's only 6% that did Captain Morgan, but I think that's because people are too shy.
Sitting and reaching under, front to back to front.
I don't know, man.
You got all different kinds of options.
Okay, scary movie is all I'm going to say. There's a spot in that movie. There is a go watch it because there is a bit in that movie
Oh, man, that's
that just
good.
answers all of this entire question.
I'm just saying. I thought that was
my.
Hey, we're talking about an interesting topic right there.
Jarvis just says stand up.
Hey,
He missed the part of it. Probably. He's
well,
like,
he
oh,
needs,
it's time
just go back and watch it, Jason.
out. No, he doesn't do that.
I know, but he probably should. Either way. All right, so we'll move on since Zach's too shy to even.
Oh my gosh!
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know that you're.
It's over. Can you tell school's getting ready to start? We're at the bottom of the barrel for topics right now.
Wait a minute. What's going on in the world of sports? Well, Major League Baseball trade deadline. College football's crazy. Next question. That pretty much covered our show tonight.
Don't know.
Just saying.
Oh my!
Go ahead, Zach. What's your?
Hey,
I remember now.
well, anything we throw out right now is just it's.
What?
I don't know.
You can't beat that topic, can you?
My question for you is, where did you find that picture of
What?
me in a movie at?
Oh, I actually. If you saw our graphic here, I'll throw that one back up there too. The title of the show this week is the Pac-12: Some Trades and Poor White Trash. I think we needed to address that part. I'm glad you did that. I was trying to remember to do that. And there's, if you see right there, there's a little guy right there holding a gun, wearing some sunglasses. That is our very own movie star.
Say it's a prop.
In Illinois, it has to be a prop because otherwise he'd have been arrested for a Class B felony.
No, they let those people go.
No. You can't have a gun.
Not for that.
You can't have a gun, but you can kidnap somebody. You can have second-degree murder.
Just without the gun?
Just can't shoot him with a gun.
I'm just saying, you can threaten a public official and you can be released. But if you are holding a gun, you are going to jail like Monopoly style. Well, anyway, in the middle of this picture, you see Riley Blair holding a prop gun because he was in a movie. Riley, why don't you tell all of our viewers what movie and how'd that go about real quick?
Poor White Trash.
Poor
White Trash. Poor White Trash was filmed in southern Illinois.
Where Jarvis is right now.
He is partaking in all of that area. I can tell you that he's at the place that one of the scenes were filmed at, actually. So
the one where you're holding the gun?
No. But nonetheless, I did that summer between my junior and senior year. Pretty cool experience to be able to be in a movie. And
I think it was for credit.
No, it was not. It
for
was,
money.
It was good money.
Oh.
It was good money. I'm not going to lie.
Hey, Jamie Presley was there, though.
Yes, she was. Yeah, I was able to go into the St. Louis airport and pick her up.
There was other people in the car.
One other person.
Okay,
yes.
well, there's other people.
Yes, there was.
It's not like you had a car ride alone with her or anything.
I didn't get in the car with her alone. No.
There you go. Sorry.
Yeah, too bad, right?
High school.
Oh, shoot.
Scooby-Doo ending.
But nonetheless, it was a cool experience. Something I'll never forget. And,
Poor White Trash.
Well, it was not. Let me go to a backstory here.
Yeah, why don't you tell us how the hell that movie came into that name? What's the movie about?
Was it a genre film? Was it action, a biography, documentary?
Young guys that go to Southern Illinois University. And so they move here, and their family moves there, and they kind of learn about all the craziness that happens in Southern Illinois. And they, in one part in the show, they're trying to sell all their, mom's jewelry and anything they possibly can sell to make money so they can pay for college. And one of the comments was, those people in Southern Illinois, they'll buy anything. Just simply for the fact that, that's what happens around there. People will buy anything.
Yard sales?
Yes. And they will sell and buy about anything they have to offer. But, I can tell you this. It was well worth it for me in the long run, as far as payment-wise. For the minimal amount of the role that I had, definitely paid pretty well. And I made some great friends from some people out in L.A. That I still have in contact with periodically through social media and things.
What?
But
you need to have them to come on the show, Riley.
I was just thinking maybe they should have the writer's strike a few years earlier. How did that movie get greenlit?
So the name of the movie when we were filming it, because they were worried that if they put Poor White Trash out into the Southern Illinois community, people would be like, no, you're not. Here. No, you're not filming here. You're not doing this here. So it was called Goodbye Sunrise. So it went from Goodbye Sunrise to Poor White Trash. In a matter of about 10 days after the last session was filmed.
How'd that make everybody feel out there?
Well, I can tell you that some of the people
they never coming back to film no movies out here no more.
Well, they did about 3 months ago.
They forgot all about it.
And it's called Crappie Lake. The Crappie Lake, it's on Peacock right now. They got 5 episodes going through, but
how come you weren't on that one? They didn't call you up for...
No, the guy that produced the show and was the director was my next door neighbor. I grew up with him. He was also involved with that movie, but he's my next door neighbor. He worked with me at the the Days Inn restaurant there in town, working in food. So I know him very well. And
sounds like an interesting place to go eat at the Days Inn.
It was a Days Inn. It was the buffet. It was a buffet, and so
again, it only reinforces my point.
Hey, I don't know what to tell you, but it was definitely something that, as far as the name of it goes, when I say that, I kind of cringe every once in a while when I say I was in the movie Poor White Trash. Coming
from, I don't know if it's an adult film or if it's a regular film.
Maybe it is.
Wait a minute. What? Yeah. What were you in?
You'll have to pull that up and watch it one time.
I'm going to eventually...
It's out there.
Is that on Netflix?
I don't know.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
It is.
You can okay, Netflix, I'll have to look it up.
But it was a cool experience, and I'm curious where you find that picture because my
pulled
mom
right off the trailer.
My mom sent it to me last week, and I was like, "Where did you find that?" She's like, "Oh, I had it from a while back, and then
I screenshotted the trailer. That's what I did."
No kidding.
Yeah,
interesting. I did not know that was on the trailer.
You didn't know you could do stuff like that?
I didn't know it was on the trailer. I didn't even pay attention that well to that, I guess.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah,
good stuff.
There you go. Learn something new. You're in the movie, and I know more about that than you. Come on.
Well,
I never seen the damn thing.
I didn't watch the trailer. I never watched the trailer.
Riley's like, I never watched the movie either.
I've watched it.
I'm on it. Why do I need to watch it? I lived it. He's Jason's thing.
Why do I need to read the agenda?
I am the agenda.
Coach Winkler says he's watching it tonight.
By the way, Coach Winkler also said when he was talking about wiping, he said, I would answer, but you guys would never let me live it down.
Don't, Coach Winkler. Don't answer. Just don't.
Go ahead, Coach. Hey, we'll give you a good birthday present here.
Don't put it in writing. Just don't put it in
writing. The internet is forever. Don't.
Yeah, we don't delete the comments off here, so they'll be around for other people to come back and watch later. And look at.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, go ahead, Zach.
So I was thinking about this today. ESPN, they had Outside the Lines. They were talking about heat and climatization. They were talking about how over the last several decades, about 67 high school kids have passed away due to heat stroke and, all of that. So it got me to thinking about, okay, could you potentially move things around? And so take what you know about school and the school calendar and just wipe it from your brain, okay? So my question is, and people can comment on this, would you rather keep the school calendar the way it is, or if you modified it, would you say, okay, we're going to start February. We're going to start about February 1, all right? And then we'll go to right before, Halloween. So that way you get every single major holiday, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year, that's off. That is now the vacation time.
Okay, say that one more time now.
All right. So would you keep the school year the way it is now, or would you say, how about we start the school year in February, so February 1, okay, and then you're going to go up to right before Halloween. And that's the new school year. And so you'll go February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, and then you'll stop the school year right before Halloween. So that way you get Halloween, you get Thanksgiving, you get Christmas, you get New Year's. That's all now family time. That's now also winter time. So maybe you miss out on snow days.
There are no snow days. We have virtual days now.
Well, you know what I'm saying. So all of that now, you've shifted the school year. So take out what we know, what we've always done. What's your thought on that? I figure, hey, it's a debatable topic.
I don't know that would be a beneficial thing as far as, when are you going to take vacations? Most people aren't going to take vacations in
middle of freaking December. That's when you're going to take them.
Because
it's Alaskan cruise.
One is typically you're not going to have that extra funds because of Christmas, holiday, all the fun
taxes,
and
you get your bonus.
So I do believe that will be a struggle for families to be able to take vacation. And then the other part of it is, are you going to get like a 2-week summer break maybe in the middle of that, or
Maybe again, you keep all of the standard days where everybody gets how we have a spring break now, or how we have like a Thanksgiving break now. Maybe you could work that into your schedule. But I was just thinking, hey, that's a way you wipe out something completely different. You get all of the major holidays now. There's no issues. Families can do that. You're going to miss out on a potential end of November, December, January of poor weather to where, what are we going to do with the kids? I've got to go to work, but now they're home on a snow day or virtual day. You're wiping out some of that. And then you
Which way do you wipe that?
I knew that was coming.
Just asking.
Back to front, right? Front to back.
What? Wasn't that an option?
Oh, my gosh. But no, anyway, what's your thoughts on that?
Where would your sports seasons being like?
Wherever they need to be.
As a basketball coach, I'm thinking, okay, they just cut out basketball for the
do it during the summertime.
So therefore you don't have to climatize. You're doing basketball.
Why?
No.
Do it in the summertime.
So you're going to
do football in February. So that way,
do football during the same time that they do football with.
I say you do basketball in the spring and baseball in the summer, simply for the fact that it's raining. Typically, in the spring is wet, so it's raining.
Football
outside.
Season would be great then.
So, or you do football and then do baseball in the fall, and then do.
Okay, so
you could do that.
So, number one, I think that's never going to happen.
Obviously, it's just
ever. Not even if there was a fire.
Somebody said
it's
never going to happen to go school year round either. But it
in some places it does. That's their thing. I mean, it's stupid, but whatever.
They said it was never going to happen.
But you're just not. You're not going to get that. And if I could do that. I don't know how I'd feel about it, because then you got all those people who like to go on vacations and stuff during the summertime. Kids don't really want to go to school during summertime. I mean, there would be an adjustment period.
I mean,
like anything else. I think in theory it'd probably be good. You could always say, family time and the winter stuff. We don't have any more snow days. Take vacations. Take those Alaskan cruises through Canada.
You're not going to Disney in August where it's just 110 degrees and the humidity. Now you're going in the fall.
Yeah, but apparently Disney be losing out some money during the summertime. Well, just throwing that out there.
Or maybe.
I'm just saying.
Nowadays people just take weeks off at school during the school anyway and go places.
You mean there's no attendance policies?
Well, I mean,
are they enforced?
Maybe. I don't know.
Enforced? No.
I only know what I know. So we're just going to leave it at that.
Is it excused?
I don't know. You take a vacation? It's an excuse. I miss school for 10 days.
I guess so.
Vacation.
I mean,
I don't know.
Family says it is, then I guess it is.
I guess. Ron Rhodes loves a 4-day school week, by the way.
What day do you have? What day would you take off if you did a 4-day?
Monday.
I would take. What about? I've asked the kids this. What about? You don't even know what I was going to say.
You're going to say Wednesday.
Or Friday.
What you were going to say Wednesday?
I was going to say Wednesday.
I told you. I knew exactly where you're going to go.
I wouldn't want one in the middle of it.
No.
I want 4 in a row.
2 off, 2.
I don't want to do Wednesdays. I want to do Wednesdays off because it's dumb.
Okay.
And most holidays are on
Mondays
anyway. Most holidays are on Monday anyway.
That's why.
I think
most holidays that you have to deal with school being off are on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Labor Day,
President's Day,
yep.
MLK Day,
Columbus. No.
Well, that's a big one for
People
me.
Day. Yeah. I'm just saying. So those are Mondays that you have to deal with. So yeah, you just take those days off. Bye bye. Just like that.
What about pushing the start time back?
For what? School?
Yeah, like 9:00. Instead of.
Why don't we just do the European model and just let them go to school for 4 hours a day and send them home?
I like that.
I know you like that. I don't want to go to school.
I'm sure a ton of teachers would love that.
Do you think you get more done? 4 hours of class instead of doing 80-minute blocks.
Yeah,
you do 4 hours of class a day, and then you're sending them home at 12:30. You don't have to worry about doing lunches. You have none of that stuff.
I've always said
your jobs.
Yeah, I've always thought again.
Sports.
Attention spans. Kids have 15, 25 minutes of attention span, if that, right? So have 30, 35
What kids are you
minutes.
talking about? Super kids?
Yeah, 30, 35 minutes worth of class. Do all your class work before lunch. Do an hour lunch like what we do here at St. Pius X. And then the second part of the day, it's all study hall. It's all work on your homework, do that. There's no quote unquote teaching time. It's, hey, my door's open. Everybody's doors are open. You need help with this assignment, that assignment. Give me that 30-minute window to teach, rather than do a dog and pony show that all the teachers have to do all the time. Here's our 30 minutes of hard work, and then in the
Dog and pony
afternoon,
show.
am I wrong? And then after
No
that,
comment.
hey, and then in the afternoon, here's your time to do your schoolwork. Here's your assignments.
Yeah. I mean, I think that would be a thing that a lot of people would get behind.
So schools, I don't know, because you're going to want the instructional time, and then you got to justify salaries. So you're not going to pay somebody, $35,000 to be a full-time teacher when they're only teaching X amount of time.
You're literally doing the same thing.
There's one thing between literally doing it maybe by what when it comes out to, and then putting it down on paper that you're a full-time teacher and you're doing from this time to this time. So that whole salary justification kind of thing. I think with the teacher shortage, I think they got to come up with some very interesting. Yes. When you say teacher shortage, they are adjusting the teacher shortage by making class sizes bigger in places, so that way you can say, "Oh, we don't have a teacher shortage. Look, we're covering all of our stuff."
And they're talking in other states. They're also talking about certification. Like, you don't even have to go to college to be a teacher now. You don't need a degree. You don't need a 4-year degree. Come on in, we'll take you.
Yeah. It's happening. It's happening in states.
In those states, why wouldn't the teachers just go back and sue the Departments of Education in their state, the ones that have been teaching for a while, and say, so let me get this straight. You told me I had to have this. I spent all this money on this. Wouldn't that be like a loss of
how about this? They get paid more.
What, because they're higher qualified, obviously?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I mean, so...
in today's world, that's what
you get. I guess
that's exactly what it is in today's world.
No, I think they got to do something very creative with teaching and education in the next couple years, or it's all going to circle the drain and go right on down the pooper.
Do you think in our lifetime
No.
it could ever go straight virtual?
I think that's a possibility. I do think that's a possibility.
We've heard this now in multiple decades about the potential of virtual school. I just don't see the brick and mortar school going away, because what is it in essence?
I think that
daycare.
I think it will at the high school level first.
No.
The lower levels, I do not think will, because one of the things is going to happen. High school sports is going to go by the wayside sooner than later. I mean, let's be honest.
I already said that.
We're struggling now, to find coaches. One,
numbers.
Kids aren't just wanting to do it now because they got to have a job. They got to support. They got to have money to buy things.
They got to go play Minecraft.
Yeah, well, that too. But so you've got so many things that are obstacles now that I personally think that that's something that you can do. Go virtual. You do the thing. You take the test. Whatever. Those kids can go out and during the day and work.
I don't think school should be compulsory.
Really? Why?
You know why it was? You know why school was ever compulsory in the first place? History teacher. Because of the assembly line, and Ford wanted workers that were somewhat educated but hardworking, but knew how to do a little bit, just enough to think to get the job done.
For all you people that hate school and drive a Ford, that's for you.
So that goes back, and then Rockefeller gets on board with that, and they're like, yeah, that's a great idea. I don't know if we're in a place now in our lifetime that it needs to be compulsory. Compulsory means mandatory.
Yeah, if you didn't know what that meant, you can pull out your phone and Google it and look it up, and it'll tell you.
Right.
You can use Chat GPT, and it'll figure it out for you. By the way,
it'll write your.
Hey, why do I need to know this stuff? It does it for me.
Oh, man.
Yes.
And then guess what happens?
Terminators.
We're enslaved by the machines. Skynet takes over.
Oh, man. James Cameron's like, I've told you guys this for about 40 years.
What'd you think I came up with this with? Hey, he had a premonition into the future.
Maybe that just means time travel. Somebody actually built a time machine.
Come with me if you want to live. Kevin says YouTube is the precursor to virtual do-it-yourself schooling model. Because, well, hey, listen, when I want to...
Hold on. Is that color by number? Education by number?
Legos.
Oh, boy.
Legos. I'm glad to see Kevin's doing okay.
Hey, you can ask him that question.
Front to back. Stand up.
He missed it. He missed it.
But no, I don't think we're ever going to get away from the brick and mortar school because of the number one thing you said. It's a daycare thing. I don't know. Boy, I hate saying this, and I've been in education going 18 years, starting up. I don't know if they're overall for every single person walking the face of the earth. This has nothing to do with our school here at St. Pius or Hawkey or any of our. I'm saying all kids who go to all the schools. I don't know if school is that important. And I hate saying it that way.
That's scary
because anything that I need to do, I have technology to do it for me.
Yep, that's true.
Think about it. I don't have to think about anything. I don't have to do any kind of math. And I'm not talking about specialized jobs are one thing. So if I need to be an engineer, that changes everything. If I need to be in a lab somewhere, I need science. There are things I need education for. If I am an everyday, I have no ambition, I don't care about anything, I'll get a whatever job I can get that I don't have to do a lot of thinking. I can be a lemming. School is not important. It's not important for that person. So for that kind of that average person, it probably isn't, because I would say at least 65 to 70% of everything that I need to do or think of, I have a phone, I have technology, I have computer, I have access to those things to do it for me.
And I think that's the whole idea of AI is getting to that point to where, I mean, think about the last 100 years. You go back to the Roaring 20s and the idea of the Industrial Revolution. We get all this thing called leisure time. I mean, the pendulum swinging is going to get to the point to where we went from 0% leisure time because we were farmers, and it's going to swing the other way to where AI and robots and everything, they do everything for us.
Until they get tired of it.
Well,
yeah. And then they rise
rise
Judgment Day. I don't think we'll ever get away from it, that whole, as long as we have schools, I don't think we ever get away from that part of it. But I hate saying it like this. I don't see the value of the everyday education for the everyday person, just the average guy, girl walking around. I don't need it. I definitely don't need to learn algebra 2 at times, okay, or whatever we're doing there.
Yeah.
And just that, again, specialized jobs are different, but that well-rounded education.
That's the kicker, is jobs, because those, again, AI and all that, those, what jobs do you think they're going to take away first?
Those.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Higher level. Just telling you. I mean, it's coming, man, where that open AI is going to have a lot more problems for us educators because of that, because of all those things. I don't need to know this. Okay. So what are you going to do? I mean, you're just going to...
Look, it goes back to like the Goodwill Hunting. You spent, $100,000 on an education when you could have got the same thing for $3 in late fees in the library. Mm-hmm. I mean, the cell phone is literally going to replace everything because, oh, wait, hey, I need to know how to tie my shoe. Hold on, let me Google it. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. And it's taught.
Or any of these books that are sitting here, you can find them online.
How many kids spend time in a library anyway?
0 nowadays.
But you know what? I mean, if I need to fix my truck and I need to do something like that, I usually pull up a video and I'm like, oh, okay, here, I can figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
They have access to this stuff, and people are constantly putting stuff out there that helps each other.
Yes.
So, I mean, with those things. So what is the point? What is the purpose of having that education and doing those things when I can just look it up? Yeah, I remember back when you had that teacher who just says like, "Well, you're never going to carry a calculator around in your pocket." You're wrong, Miss McKay. I am
calling them out.
And
right
that
now,
beeping noise that you hear is the bus backing up.
Wait, Miss McKay was like my cousin, and she, if I messed up in her class, she'd just slap you in the back of the head.
Yeah, well,
definitely can't do that anymore.
Back in the day, yes, you could.
She got away with it. It's just the way it was. But I don't know. I mean, that opens up a large conversation as far as that goes. I mean, we can definitely go down that rabbit hole. But I'm kind of curious what Jarvis would think about that. Since he's so technologically I want to say
He's got the same thing that, everybody made fun of the social studies teachers for years, press and play, but now who wins? The social studies teachers. Yes.
it's one thing to watch Criminal Minds, okay, in your criminology class.
Gosh. Criminal law, yep.
Whatever.
Yep.
I don't know. Anyway, it's that time now. We're going to call it a show. Real quick, we hopefully we did Coach Hawkey the service, but with this show and dedicating it to him, and we did have some serious conversation and stuff, but at the same time, thoughts and prayers go out to Jim and Ann and their family, as they try to get through all this, and you can tell that Coach really touched the lives of a lot of people, and just want to make sure we bring that up again at the end of the show. And
anybody that's in education for 50 years, I guarantee you, has to have touched a bunch of kids. That's for sure.
Yeah, and that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to improve the lives of those kids, and definitely there at DeSmet, he definitely did.
Yes.
And there's a lot of maroon there last night at the wake. I will tell you that. And kind of felt like I was back at South Iron. There's so much maroon around.
I felt like I was back at Benton. That's what I exactly.
You guys
had
maroon too?
Yes.
Oh man.
Hey, there you go.
Scary. Anyway, but for all of us, want to wish you guys, appreciate you guys tuning in and being a part of the show. Hopefully we'll be back next week if we can figure out. We got a lot of us are going back to school and schedules and
busy.
It's definitely a tough time, but
fall sports starts next
week, and we're all going to be busy, but we're going to try to get in front of some cameras at some point and be on here, and hopefully you guys we'll have some really good stuff to talk about. I'm kind of just sitting here rambling on right now because none of you guys are doing anything, but that's okay.
Well, you're the one closing us out here, my
friend. All right, well, hey, wait.
Well,
I do. Go to the bullpen. Go ahead, Riley. Go ahead.
I'll do say this.
Say this. What the hell are you saying?
I will say this. Sorry, my apologies. The Herculaneum Black Cats lost a special teacher and coach in Frank Dugan this past week. Frank Dugan was a very high intelligent man that taught at Herculaneum and was very well known around the community, and so heartfelt out to the Dugan family as they laid him to rest. And it's tough times, when in this time of day, it's just coming more and more. We seem like we have to deal with that death even more and more here recently. So hats off to the prayers and thoughts, and to all those Dugan family as well, during this time.
Absolutely. Zach, you want to take us on out of here?
Well, that's been another episode of the Coach's Box. We thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you guys next time.
Take it easy. God bless. See you later. Bye-bye now.